Now, I'm reading these press notes. I'm thinking, you're so nice, you're so sweet. You, like, do survivalist stuff. You do this stuff?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, I started studying indigenous cultures a few years ago because I just sort of wanted to tap into the fact that we're still indigenous, you know, like we're of this earth, even though we don't shoot bow and arrows for food, we go to a grocery store. And part of their lifestyle was knowing how to make fire, knowing how to build shelters and whatnot. And so I was always fascinated by that. And I just started learning about it for fun and sort of got proficient in wilderness skills. And then I sort of realized that I live a lot of my life in an urban environment. And then Hurricane Sandy happened, and a friend of mine was in New York. And for a week, she was like, we didn't have water. We had to wait in line for 5 hours just to get a bottle of water. And I was like, that's kind of scary, you know, that we wouldn't know how to, you turn on a faucet and you're used to having water, but then when something happens and there's no water. So that was sort of a way that, something that prompted me into looking at urban survival skills.
So, I mean, this must have been like cakewalk for you to take on this stuff.
It was fun. I mean, the cool thing about this movie, it's sort of like parkour, you know, and I was really, I think it's amazing to push our bodies to a limit to see what we can do in these forms, you know? So reading the book was exciting because you're like, oh yeah, I want to be badass like those Dauntless people.
So if you could pick if you had to choose, you would choose Dauntless?
I would, yeah.
Really?
But then the second I disagreed with their moral integrity, I would drop out and become factionless. I could just be like sovereign and do my thing.
I like factionless.
Do your thing.
I wanted to be the enemy, though. I wanted to be the bad guy.
Here's the thing, though. They're not the bad guy. Nobody is the bad guy. It's just a differing of opinions. You know, like that's Democrats, true. Republicans, like nobody's better or worse than the other. It all just depends on your outlook and your perspective.
Now, when you first got offered the role, had you read the book or did you kind of go into it afterwards?
The studio made the book present in my mind. I had never heard of it. And I actually, when I signed on, there wasn't a working script, so the book was our outline.
Wow, wow. What did you take personally? Obviously, you have those skills in your background, but what else did you take from you and put into Triss?
A lot, I suppose. I mean, I feel like I resonate a lot with Triss. Not so much now in my life, but where I was when I was her age.
Yeah.
Sort of balancing the compassion, the empathy with the bravery and the courage. And you know what Triss ultimately realizes, which is what I realized at a young age, is that it takes a lot of bravery to be fully yourself and to be fully selfless, you know, so the two go hand in hand.
Well, I really liked your performance here. I mean, you were in literally every scene, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Was that a challenge, kind of meeting what the fans' expectations are, or did you even think about that?
You can't think about that because, you know, if I were to try and portray Triss the way that you envisioned her, the way that he envisioned her, the way she envisioned her, then she would sort of have this cluster mess of a person because it would be an idea of a person instead of just an authentic, living, breathing expression.